What's going on, everyone? Scott here, and welcome back to the channel. So, Survivor Season 50, Episode 7 is here. Last week was a big episode. We had the Blood Moon twist. We had 3 people go home. We saw Genevieve, we saw Camilla, and we saw Colby go home. Now, it was technically the merge last week, but Rizzo and Ozzy were both left out of the challenges tribal council because they went to Exile Island. So they have no idea what's going on. They're at Exile Island, so they'll be coming back this episode and get caught up on not 1, not 2, but 3 people missing. So now there's a group of 14 people as we head into the official merge. Now the jury will start tonight as well, but we're really getting down to it, I imagine. Said it last week. I've said it for a couple weeks here. We're kind of getting down here to the last little bit here. I think less than 2 weeks now, so of game time. So, there's going to be some more double, maybe even triple eliminations. I'd kind of be shocked if they did a triple elimination again, but I for sure think we're going to see some more double eliminations here coming up soon. With that being said, though, before we do jump into this episode, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. We'll have more Survivor 50 content on the channel, so just make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So, jumping back at camp, Jonathan, says to the group that comes back, was like, if you want to talk, we can talk. Tiffany is like, I'm upset, but I'm not upset with y'all. I just had to say bye to my friend tonight. I want to talk eventually, but just I want to, feel this for a minute. She keeps it cool and composed, even though she is very upset. And Vengeful Tiff is here and really excited for that. And as she said, she is here to dance on all of their survivor graves. Next group comes back. Aubrey apologizes for not playing her idol. Said it was going so fast and essentially that she forgot. Devin doesn't buy it. Christian doesn't buy it. And Devins is even like, we're all returning players essentially. We're all playing this game, this Survivor 50. We've all played this game. Just say you wanted to pocket the thing for one more tribal. Last group comes back. Coach is ready to carry on an honorable game for Colby. Coach and Jonathan are ready to go to war for the old honorable truth and integrity game. And please gag me now and get these 2 off of my screen. Next day, Dee and Tiffany go over what happened on each side of the votes. Dee knows that Jonathan flipped. Dee goes over and kind of makes a joke towards Jonathan about wanting to go to talk. Coach says to Dee, people are telling him that she doesn't trust him. He's like, where are you hearing that? Jonathan decides to chime in and says, well, are you telling the truth, Dee? And they basically go back and forth. We see in the confessional, Jonathan was just doing this to kind of get a rise out of Dee. And, she was kind of going back and forth with him, specifically Jonathan, arguing back and forth and exchange back and forth. And, essentially Dee tells Coach, I don't know where we go from here. We've been playing together since the beginning. He tearfully, says that that's not how I play Survivor. And that's the name of the episode. That's not how I play Survivor. Please gag me now. But then he goes on to a group of people at the tribe, says, if you're going to run around and lie and play Survivor like that, you will not win Survivor 50. And my goodness gracious, people want to run around and play Survivor on season 50 of a show called, oh yeah, right, Survivor. Give me a break. Please get this man off my screen and get these honorable nonsense players off my screen. But now Rizzo and Ozzy, they come back from exile in the midst of all this chaos, and they can tell there's tension that you can cut with the knife here at camp. Coach tries to go right to Rizzo and get him on his side, and he wants him to replace Colby in the 4 horsemen or something, I don't know, with him, Jonathan, and Joe. Rizzo, puts on a smile, yeah, and in his confessional, he's like, yeah, I feel so valuable to get into your alliance after one of your alliance members got voted out, so you need to replace that number. Yeah, feel very excited about that. Thank you so much for that, honorable coach. What are we doing here? They have a name for Sari, Ozzy, and Rizzo. Sari's Wizard of Oz. They're meeting up, talking, kind of okay, we know where 2 idols are. We have an extra vote here. Emily walks up onto the conversation, and she basically is like, it's kind of crazy how public the idols are this year. Obviously, everyone knows about Aubrey's, but they are also and Ozzy's is pretty well out there too. And Emily's like, Rizzo, do you know who gave you yours? Kind of takes a pause for a minute, like, oh, he's like, who told you that again? And she says, I think it was D. Rizzo's like, huh. Because that was a big development we saw last episode, Rizzo and D kind of getting together, and it was like, oh, like this can be a group that can, push together to the end. If you get Rizzo, D, throw Tiffany in there, Suri, Ozzy, like, hey, this can be a solid four or five people. Rizzo does ask D about this, and she denies it, but we do see her saying that she might have messed up. She told Emily, she's like, you cannot tell anyone. I'm the only one that knows about this. But we also see her tell Tiffany and Jonathan as well. Tiffany's obviously not a problem. She's close. She can keep her mouth shut and keep a secret. But Jonathan, obviously, with the turn from which is kind of seeming what has caused this rift between Dee and Jonathan, is Dee turning on Jonathan and voting out Charlie a couple tribals ago. So yeah, I guess if Dee was trying to do that to kind of mend fences with Jonathan, and then him, stabbing her in the back, essentially after that with that information. But Emily, which hindsight's 2020, we're watching from the screen, she spilt every secret that she's got this season. I think she even spilt secrets that she hasn't even been told yet. That's an over-exaggeration, but love Emily, but, probably, even though it was trying to build that trust and connections, probably wasn't the best move. And, Dee even says that, this could be a big $1 million mistake. Boat shows up for a journey, and they draw their shots in the dark, and Stephanie is going on the boat to go on the journey. Advantage up for grabs. It's an endurance challenge, holding your arm up there for an hour. And if you remember back to Heroes versus Villains, so season 20, so 30 seasons ago, some 15 odd years ago, first meet of that challenge, she had her shoulder dislocated, popped out, had to pop it back in. So that was her right shoulder, so she has to use her left shoulder, or her left arm, non-dominant arm, but she keeps it up there. She keeps it up there the whole time and gets the advantage. And she gets to steal a vote, which is nice. Now, we have a good amount of advantages in the game. A couple of them are not widespread known. We talked about the idols that were being known. Cerise's extra vote seems pretty like a handful, like that group knows. Maybe a few more on the outside of people knows. But now this is another one. If she can keep it a secret, another secret in the game. And now Rizzo's idol, it seems to be circling around. So there's very few secret advantages in this game. And this is a big thing because this can be one of them. And obviously a big, page and momentum turner if she is involved in a vote, a close vote, should I say. But she comes up with something to tell the group when she gets back. She gets back and she tells them that she had to last 30 minutes tells them exactly what the challenge is, but says you had to last 30 minutes to keep your vote and an hour to get an advantage. She says she just made it 30 minutes to keep her vote. I think that was pretty solid. I just wouldn't believe anything anyone said coming back from a journey, because you're gonna, bend the truth a little bit. But Cerise's looking at Stephanie and was like, there's no way she couldn't not keep her arm up there for an hour. They go to the water well, and she kind of pokes her about the challenge a little bit. She's like, yeah, if I go a half hour, I, keep my vote. If I go an hour, I get an advantage. So I kept my vote. And so he's like, okay, I believe you. And then Stephanie kind of comes under her breath, I got the advantage. Something. She's like, I know you did. Like, whatever. But Cerise goes right to tell Rizzo. Rizzo does ask Cerise, like, what she thinks they should do about Dee. As Rizzo said, Dee kind of showed him that she can't keep his secret, telling her about his idol. So, they say that they might have to get her out. And, this is the risk that we said Dee ran with, telling the wrong people the wrong thing, which don't 100%, like, obviously Dee's the one that done it, but did it. But that's the thing in this game. You got to choose the right people to trust. And, Dee was trying to build that trust there, and just one wrong move can, kind of flip the game on your head, like it seems to be doing at this time for Dee. We head to immunity challenge, but it's also going to be a reward challenge. Chinese takeout back at camp. Going to divide into 2 groups of 7. The winning group wins the Chinese takeout, but then they will go ahead to a individual immunity challenge for 1 immunity necklace. In a tribal council, they'll have 14 people there. Jonathan, Cerise, Chrissy, Rizzo, Tiffany, Coach, and Aubrey is one group. Christian, Ozzy, Devins, Emily, Dee, Stephanie, and Joe were part of the other group. Schoolyard pick. Christian's group just gets it done by seconds to win Chinese takeout. They move on to the next part for individual immunity. And in the individual immunity portion, Ozzy wins immunity, which overall is his 8th overall throughout his entire Survivor career, which is one behind Boston Rob with a record 9 individual immunity wins all time. So something to chase, as Jeff says. But back at camp, Christian, Ozzy, Devins, Emily, Dee, Stephanie, and Joe all have their Chinese takeout reward. Meanwhile, the game gets turning pretty quick, and Chrissy says everyone's hearing either Dee or Aubrey. Obviously, Dee, that blow up with Jonathan, coach kind of thing, and them kind of spreading that out there. And then Aubrey, because of her lying, saying she was going to play the idol, that is very much public knowledge now, and not playing it. Tiffany and Suri talk, and Suri thinks that they're going to go after Dee, even though we all know it's being driven by egos of Jonathan and Coach, mainly. Coach and Aubrey talk, and they say it'll be Dee, and Aubrey says that she's going to play her idol just to get rid of it, because it's a public idol, just get rid of it. And I'm sorry, are you kidding me? We saw, they don't have this knowledge, and I don't think anyone has ever successfully used an idol as an advantage without playing it as well as Rizzo did in 49. But are you kidding me? Why are you getting rid of an idol just because people know you have it? If they want to keep coming for you, all right, you're essentially just getting in a high-stakes $1 million game of chicken. Hey, I have this idol. Maybe I'll use it. Maybe I won't. Vote me out. Who knows? You got to split votes here, and if you have great, good relationships, not saying Aubrey has so far this season, she's got a few, but you can use that to your advantage. Just because people know you have an idol does not mean you have to flush the idol. But that's that. That's what Aubrey plans to do. Jonathan says, why should we waste votes on Aubrey? If Dee plays her shot in the dark, we can just place all the votes on her. But they do come to the conclusion, well, should I say Coach comes to the conclusion for the whole cast of Survivor, that they are going to split the votes between Dee and Tiffany, 7-4. But he says we can't tell flippy-floppy people in the middle, like Christian, that we're splitting the vote. Problem is, Rick Devins is standing right there, and him and Christian, they are close. So we have Coach telling people who to vote for, dancing around camp and flaunting whatever. Devins and Christian talk, and Devins tells Christian that Coach said that there's a 7-4 split, essentially, and they don't want people in the middle like Christian to know that it's a split vote. So Christian brings this to Coach. Say, hey, I heard you might have some numbers for a 7-4 vote. Coach loses his mind. Who could possibly betray the trust of the Dragon Slayer and tell Christian that this is a 7-4 split vote, not just an all votes go on Dee, all 13 people or however many people they have in their alliance of Dragon Slayer honorable players are going to vote for Dee, and that's just how it's going to go. Of course it's going to be a split vote. What are we doing here? And as expected, everything starts to hit the fan. Rizzo pulled Coach to the side, though, as he's kind of, doing a really good job of playing all sides right now. He pulls Coach to the side and said, you said we can't tell people in the middle about the split vote. You said this with Rick Devins right there, who is kind of part of in that middle group. Coach is like, oh, yes, Sensei Riz God, yes, thank you for giving me that information. And Rizzo gives him a great speech, by the way, we slay dragons at tribal council, not at camp. Coach is like, yes, sir. Rizzo's like, how am I teaching these people how to play Survivor who have been playing Survivor for almost longer than he has been alive? Literally. And he's like, people just cannot keep their mouths shut. Coach is talking to himself. He's all over the place. He's losing his mind, clearly. Emily's like, I want Coach out. So she starts putting feelers out there. Ozzy, Tiff, Devin seem like they're down, but don't know if they'll have the numbers going into Tribal. Dee says to Tiffany she'll cause chaos at Tribal, get up, start whispering. She's like, so if that happens, don't worry about you, just trying to cause chaos. We had a Tribal Council. Most people ever at a Tribal, 14. Talk about the fallout from the Blood Moon is discussed, kind of how, there was fights everywhere, people disagreeing with each other, I guess, and whatnot. And with so many people and big personalities, it is hard to get everyone on the same page, which we obviously clearly saw after the challenge. Dee says everyone was throwing her name out there, and she's like, don't be stupid. Like, use me as a vote. Jonathan comes back with, how many times have you lied? And Dee's like, it, we're playing a game called Survivor where you're supposed to come out here and lie to win the game. That's part of the game. But not to the honorable and noble Jonathan and Coach and Joe. And nope, you cannot lie even for a second in this game. But D gets up, starts telling people, hey, do Coach, we have the numbers. Coach, we have the numbers. Live tribal, and in the words of Rizzo, it's cinema. But we head to the vote. Aubrey plays her idol to get rid of it. Once again, no idea why. Dee does play her shot in the dark. Unfortunately, it's not safe, and that means Dee goes home. It's a 7 for Dee, 4 for Tiffany, 1 for Coach. Vote split, and yeah, very, very upset to see Dee go home. Obviously, she also was our last winner remaining on this season. So, yeah, very disappointing. And going forward, hope that Tiffany can kind of. I'm hoping for that group. I was really hopeful for that group of Rizzo, Sari, Ozzy, Dee, and Tiffany. I was hoping that could be a group to make some noise, but the group's getting smaller. But I hope Tiffany can get in with like Rizzo, Sari, Ozzy, and they can kind of make some things happen and go forward, and one of them can get it done. We just need to get these honorable and noble, don't lie, please don't play this game, don't lie or do anything, people off of this beach. And if we do that, I think that'll be a successful season, to be honest. But we are clearly in an uphill battle now with that, unfortunately. Next week, Christian saying we have a chance to hit the heart of the Death Star. Joe saying they're all snakes. Then Jeff mentioning at the immunity challenge, it looks like another twist with double the consequences. So assuming, as we kind of said, there'll probably be another double elimination next week. But as we said, going forward, I hope we can get Tiffany, Sari, Rizzo. Yeah, I hope we can get one of them, through. Hope they can get some momentum in this thing and start picking off some people. Hopefully, Devins and Christian and Emily kind of sitting in the middle. If we can get them together to just put a crack in the honorable and don't actually want to play Survivor, just want to have a bro fest and not lie to anyone out there, group of people out, and can start picking those people off, and we can actually start playing Survivor and not have these honorable people trying to ruin Survivor 50 like we do have Coach, Jonathan, Joe, that group of people just trying to ruin what should be an incredible season and a celebration of Survivor, not a we're all bros, let's go out there and not lie to each other or anything, and let's not play the game. 25 years, 50 seasons of this incredible game, but let's have it culminate with us not lying to each other and be honorable to win Survivor 50. Please give me a break and get these clowns off my television screen. But that'll do it for this one. We'll be back next week with hopefully a better recap and a better episode. I'll pause there. These have been good episodes, just very frustrated with the boot order right now, having nice words to say about the honorable people. Don't have nice words. That we have this group of players that just want to play honorable and don't actually want to play the game of Survivor. Have them trying to ruin this incredible season 50, who we've had some incredible moments. The boot order, absolutely horrible though. But we'll be back next week to recap next week's episode. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.